But I want us to kind of unpack this together because I think it's kind of a unique challenge that Georgia's facing here in 2024. This is something that we haven't really seen Kirby Smart have to address in the nature they're going to address it in 2024 and the way they've already addressed it in 2024 with the staff changes. So before we get to that, make sure you're subscribed. Georgia fans, had a lot of y'all get locked in with us over the course of the last few months. College football fans, period, whether you like Georgia, whether you like Auburn, whether you like Ohio State, Michigan, whoever you're a fan of, I promise you, we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk college football every single day. If you're watching this as a one-off video, shouts to you. But if you're watching this as a live cut, you're a real one. We do a live show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. So quick plug there. All right. As I mentioned, a lot of staff moves for Kirby Smart. You've got Will Muschamp stepping down from the co-OC role, kind of taking a step back to a degree with what he's doing on that staff. Your secondary coach, Fran Brown, has gone to Syracuse to be the head coach. Del McGee, gone to Georgia State to be the head coach. Your wide receiver coach has gone to the NFL. Like, there's a lot of movement here on Georgia's staff, more than I think we've really seen in recent history. Now, to be fair, Kirby Smart has absolutely addressed those needs in a very big way, addressed those vacancies in a big way, brings in T. Rob from Alabama, Dante Williams from USC, James Coley to coach the receivers. It's a guy he's familiar with. Like, there's a lot of things to be excited about if you're Georgia, but still, the question remains, how do they evolve with this new staff? Is that something that ends up being an Achilles heel for Georgia? Is the acclimation of the staff to this roster? Because anytime you bring in a new coach, I know it's Georgia, so we just kind of assume that logo and that brand's going to be sustainable. But still, that's a very big change. You work with your position coach more closely than any other individual outside of the strength and conditioning coach as a college football player. Like, that is the dude who sets the course for your football team. And so if I'm Georgia, this is going to be in some ways a challenge. And Jesse Simonton does a great job addressing this. But the reality here is if you're Kirby Smart, like, you knew this was coming. We talked about it, when they won the national championship 2 years ago, when Todd Monken left for the NFL, you knew this was coming. And they haven't been without making some changes to their staff. Like Todd Monken, like I just said, went to the NFL. Dan Lanning was a co-DC for you. He's doing what he's doing at Oregon. You knew this was coming. But this is the circle of life in college football when you have success. People see you have success. They want to try and take just a small fraction of what you have and bring it to their program. And this is what it is. And what we've seen here from Kirby Smart so far is encouraging. But what we've seen really be successful is what Alabama did with Nick Saban. How many times do we hear about new coordinator in Tuscaloosa, new position coach in Tuscaloosa, hey, new personnel, new this, new that. And every single time, Alabama was able to withstand that and adapt. The philosophy was always the same for Nick Saban. And I think the hires that Kirby Smart made for these position coaches tells us a lot about their philosophy. It is talent acquisition first, second, and third. That's it. That's it. Obviously, you got to buy into the way that they do things and the culture, but the guys that he has added to this staff, from a Dante Williams to a T. Rob to a James Coley, they are all ace recruiters. Dante Williams was the guy that recruits were talking about when they were taking visits to USC. Kids would talk about Lincoln Riley and the offense. They would talk about their relationship with Dante Williams. T. Rob, same deal at Bama. James Coley, absolute dog on the recruiting trail when it comes to what they do in Florida. They're going to be just fine when it comes to acquiring talent. That's still the end-all, be-all for them. But what I want to get to here is, for Georgia, just because the personnel changes, just because the route kind of adapts to this new staff, doesn't mean that the result is going to change. And I have zero reservations about Georgia, strictly because of who's running the show there, because of Kirby Smart. The reason why we always trusted Alabama was because it was Nick Saban's football team. It was never Nick Saban's football team, but he's handing off this portion of the program to somebody else. He might give responsibility to somebody else, but it was never a thing where he was taking his hands off the wheel and just letting them run roughshod and he didn't know what was going on offense or defense. Every single move he made was calculated and for a purpose and to adapt, and that's the same thing with Kirby Smart here, man. That's the exact same thing. Kirby Smart sets the temperature for Georgia football. He is a thermostat. Until that changes, until there's some other wildly unforeseen circumstance that changes Kirby Smart's standing with Georgia football and his responsibility overseeing Georgia football, then you can start to have some concerns. Then we can start to talk about Georgia football when it comes to them taking a step back. This new coaching staff, they're still going to recruit in the top 3, if not the top class, I would imagine, every single year. They're still going to have the set of values and the set of habits that have made them champions over the course of the last couple of seasons. Why? Because it's Kirby Smart's football team. Bloody Tuesday, not going anywhere. How hard they practice? Same deal. How hard they develop and train? Same deal. That's not changing at all because of who Kirby Smart is, because of how much he demands. And the reason why they're able to do that kind of demand, the reason why they're able to ask so much of their players and their staff is because they've seen the results now. The proof is in the pudding. If you do things Kirby Smart's way, you will win and at the very least compete for national championships. That point stands on its own. And if you have an issue with that or you have some pushback with that, you can go take a walk down the hall, look at the trophy case, and see not one but 2 national title trophies in there. So the staff is changing. This is just a part of college football head coach life. If you have success the way that Kirby Smart has had success. And here's the thing too, if they have success this year, there's going to be more churn. There's going to be more changes. There's going to be more guys that go to the league, whether it be player or coach. More coaches that get head coaching job offers from Kirby Smart's staff. And again, that is a testament to Kirby Smart and the way that he's done things. So the next phase for Georgia is in full effect. But again, I have absolutely zero concerns about the direction of Georgia football as long as Kirby Smart is wearing the head coaching name tag. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.